Okay. Well, it's good to be back. Uh, I'm really proud of the job my uh, staff and my players have done while I wasn't physically present, and they didn't get tired of me on Zoom. Uh, Listening to me is one thing, but when you have to just look at my face for a long time, that's not the prettiest sight in the world. So I, I I appreciate them hanging there in there with me. I also want to just say thank you to Duke Medical. Um, they stepped in when I was getting on the bus going to Florida State, and they were right to do that. Uh, Mickey and I have been tested every day since. Mako was at our house at 5:45 this morning to test us, and at 8:30 I came in and I stayed isolated here, and then they told me I was good to go and Mickey was good, and so I was able to participate in the uh, our walkthrough at about 9:15. So that helped instead of me just coming in, and saying surprise just before the game. Able to establish a little bit more contact with them, and I will say this too. My daughter Debbie and my granddaughter Emmy are still fighting the virus, and they haven't. It's not gone away. They're doing okay, but not great. And my heart goes out to everyone out there who has a family member or they're fighting this, and it's serious. We had 16,000 people die in the last 4 days, and uh, I'm just happy that we have such a good medical center and medical people who will take care of us. And again, but I'm happy to be back. I thought my team played really well today. I thought this was a really good basketball game. It was back and forth. Steve has done a great job with this team. He's had more interruptions than anybody in our conference with COVID. But in the last couple of weeks and putting his team together, I think him playing Catawba was a good thing. I think he tried lineups against Georgia Tech. He was beating Virginia in the second half. And today he put out a lineup that I think he's getting to know his team. The kid Williamson really, played for him. He was a veteran for him today. And they were a tough team to defend, and they defended well. I think the key to the game was our rebounding, especially our perimeter rebounding. We got some big time buckets where our guys just hustled and got it. Obviously, Matt Hurtka had a big game. And I'm proud of Wendell. Wendell did not score well, but it didn't affect the other aspects of his game, which in the first part of the season, if he wasn't scoring, he didn't play well. He played really well. He was our leading rebounder, played really well defensively. And, we had to go real small because they put those four perimeter guys out. And Masood is a tough matchup because he's such a good 3-point shooter. I think they're a good team. And I know he's really a good coach. So proud of my guys. Look, I'm talking a lot. I haven't talked to anybody. My dog won't even listen to me anymore. He's Blue just said, I started talking and he leaves the room like he's had enough. So put up with me for a little bit.
All right, we'll open up for questions and we'll start with Brendan Marks. Brendan, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Glad to see you back. Glad you're feeling better. You spoke to Matt. You said he had a great game. You've spoken in the offseason about the boost in confidence you've seen from him. But aside from that, what are the biggest strides you've seen from him and are continuing to see from him in his evolution?
Yeah, I think he's playing at a good pace, except for that one fast break where he thought he was a point guard. But the pace, because he also has to play defense sometimes on a big guy. And so I like the fact that it's more of a workman-like performance for him. And he did ask once to come out to get a little bit of a blow. He's got to do that. And then we have to keep developing a bench. I know Henry only played a couple seconds, but he made a big charge, got a big charge. And we missed 2 wide open threes after that. Henry's charge could have led to a 6-point turnaround or 5-point turnaround. And but Matt's playing at a good pace, and people are going to come at him and they're going to defend him. And so when he touches the ball, our guys get a little bit more room. And we need to keep learning that. We started learning about that at Notre Dame, and we have to keep doing that.
Thank you.
Next question is Steve Wiseman.
Hey, Coach, glad you're doing well health-wise.
Thank you.
You guys lately have been defensively very strong, especially getting turnovers, getting steals leading to turnovers.
Right.
What have you liked so far about what you're seeing from the team defensively and how they're growing in that area?
Well, good observation. And by the way, I haven't been sick, just so you know. I've just been quarantined. So I feel great. Not good. I feel great. And but thanks for saying that. The defense, I think the longer we play together, really, we're more instinctive defensively than we're getting there offensively. But defensively, we're more instinctive. And especially the freshmen, Jeremy, okay, DJ, these guys on the perimeter, they're past the thinking stage. Like what am I supposed to do? They're more instinctive. They've learned the defense well enough, and that's the bridge you have to cross when you are learning something, is where you make yourself a little bit slower because you're thinking about what you have to do right. But when you instinctively know it, then that adds to the quickness. And I think that's what's coming around. And really at the end of the BC game, DJ made that, caused that turnover, right in front of the BC's bench. And he's getting into passing lanes better. We're talking more, and we just got to keep going. Joey came up with a big defensive play for us, and we got to get our big guys going. Where we don't lose the ball by the bucket. We're stronger with the ball, and that's the bridge young big guys have to get over. In high school they didn't have that. The physicality. And also people really wanting to get the ball out of your hands. And if we can improve in that area, then we'll show even a little bit more improvement as a team.
Next question, David Thompson.
Hey, Coach, welcome back. I hate to ask a non-basketball question, but,
It's all right.
Talked to you in a while. I was hoping to get your thoughts on what happened in our nation's capital earlier this week.
The sorriest day. I'm 73 years old. Outside of a 9/11, shootings at schools where kids have gotten shot and killed. And by the way, I know everyone went under desks in the Capitol. I'd like to ask how many times teachers have had to do that at schools, when there's gun violence. But Wednesday was a horrible day. It was an insurrection. It went to the very fabric of this great country, where the symbol for our democracy is that Capitol. And we allowed that symbol to be really just spit on and stepped on, and it was a sorry day. And my prayers go out to the officer's family who was killed, and from the Capitol Police, just like my prayers go out to the 16,000 families that have lost loved ones. And this last week, are you kidding me? There's 16,000. And that whole thing, like, what the hell are we doing? What the hell are we doing? Where we can't work as a country to, come together and get these vaccines out, make sure that we're coming together. And if someone's doing something bad, Congress has the responsibility of stepping forward. I'm not sure if you saw Colin Powell be interviewed on TV, a man that one of our great Americans, and what he said was, as this whole thing is moving along, Congress needs to step forward and say, you can't do that. Where are our values? What our nation has been built on values, and the sorry day, and everyone who is involved, and they should be prosecuted, and our leaders, our politicians who spoke up in support of that should be chastised. There's no question about it. This is not about being a Republican or a Democrat. It's about being a damn American. Being American. Work together. Let's get this thing back. People say that's not who we are. That is who we are right now. It is who we are. We need to change who we are. All right. We need to get back to the basic principles that have founded this country. So again, I'm sorry for getting on a pulpit, but being home and watching that, my West Point background and being in the Army and all that, I'm used to being on a team. Our country needs to be a team again. And again, I'm sorry and I'm not running for anything, just so you know. I'm not, or pushing anybody for anything. That's a hell of a long answer, David. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. Thank you.
All right.
All right, we'll go to Jared Fialco.
Coach, you've obviously had to miss games throughout your career before. A couple of years ago with the back surgery,
Right.
the year prior to that, you got ill before going to Georgia Tech. A lot of us remember 1995. Seeing as how you said you weren't sick, it was a preventative measure. Is there any way you can
Right.
quantify this past week as feeling differently in that regard?
Oh yeah, like especially in the mid 90s. Look, it wasn't just the back. I was in deep trouble for about 5 months, just getting back to who I was. And Keith Brody helped me immensely in doing that. There's no way I could coach a team or give any guidance during that time. And when I was sick for one game or whatever, then that's different. But Zoom has been a big help. I actually have watched and done probably more this week because, my wife and I have had to keep socially distanced. I slept in a different part of the house. I actually just told her I'm going to sleep on the couch, and I haven't done anything wrong. And then I'm there, and it's right where my computer and my everything is. So, and I was in constant contact with my staff. And the one thing though, I told my staff during the week, follow your instincts, because I follow your instincts when I'm there. So, but it's a big difference. I was totally involved, and actually got a chance to speak to my team. Jeff Capel and Wojo and Chris Collins would tell you during that mid 90s, I wasn't even allowed to speak. They wanted me to be completely away from my team. And you could feel abandoned during that time. And it's a dark spot, but also it's something I had look, it's on me, but there's a chance that I would never coach again if that wasn't done right. And through Keith Brody, it was done right. And I was able to, geez, that's 25, 26 years ago. But the Zoom aspect helps a great deal.
Last question.
Thank you.
Aaron Beer, last question.
Hey, Mike, before the stoppage and when you played Notre Dame, you sounded like you guys were trying to experiment a little bit, figure out, okay, we thought this would be one thing, now it's got to be something else. there was a long stretch without games, but do you think this group is kind of beginning to sort that out a little bit about what they can do well together?
Yeah, definitely. And a big thing is for Matt to touch the ball, whether he's scoring or not. And when the offense that we were running before that was more of a 5-out, that like Golden State or teams like the Celtics and that point. And it really was not that good for us. And, that's something we would have experimented with in the 2 exhibition games. But it took us, especially the Michigan State and Illinois games, to find out like that's not going to work. And so we've been constantly working on our offense, and the guys are getting game experience. There's more of a chemistry on the offensive end right now, and there's been a good chemistry on the defensive end. When we lost those 2 games, our offense really killed us because of bad shots or turnovers. And but our defense has been kind of good the whole time, and we've cut down on the turnovers, and we're not in any, like, I think we're a good basketball team. We're not an outstanding team, but we're a good team that's trying to get better. And one thing too for these guys, I felt bad for them before BC, and Jim Chris, he does a good job with his team. But even right up until game time, when you've had the plug pulled where you're not going to play right at the last minute, that's not a good thing. So just getting into that, we're going to play like we're better today, we're going to play. Wake, we found out about Wake and they found out about us last night. And, we got the info. We gave each other the info early. And I think testing is huge going forward. I wish we would all daily test with a PCR. I think that would help, where we would know and people wouldn't travel someplace and then not have a game, stuff like that. But again, we got to roll with the punches.
All right, Coach, thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks.